Welcome to lesson 3. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use our left hand. So, remember how I talked about how the violin rests? It balances between collarbone, chin, and the side of your thumb here, and the side of your index finger. So that's very, very important when we start actually using the left hand. So, we're going to put our violin up, find our spot, and then slide your hand down. You can make kind of this stop sign so that you have your shelf for the neck of the violin to rest on. You don't want to be squeezing it so that it's tight like that, but you also don't want it too wide so that the violin just kind of falls in like this. See how my thumb's sticking up here really high? So you don't want that. So you're going to slide your hand with your thumb just real loose and relaxed. You might feel some pressure under your chin right now because your chin, while you're sliding your hand, your chin's going to take over and kind of help hold the violin a little more until you get down here and stop anyway. So then when you get down here, you're going to rest the violin on the side of your thumb and the side of your index finger kind of, but it's going to take over and help balance the violin between your collarbone and chin too. So you want a space between, set this down for a minute. You want a space between your thumb. See how I can stick my finger through there? You don't want that tight like that. See how I've just pinched away the space? That's a pinching hand. A lot of people play like that, but you don't want that. So you want to keep a space always. Have your thumb relaxed and not clenching like this. But this is how it looks when it's nice and relaxed, and there should be a space where you can look through. And you will need a mirror to do this, to be able to see you have that space. Well, sometimes if you look over you can see it. But so you always want to keep that, and don't ever let yourself do this, and use a mirror a lot so you can check for that, because a lot of times you don't know you're doing it. So that's the key. Practice balancing your violin on the side of the thumb. Don't let it go way underneath. It doesn't need to be under there. And don't let it totally, the violin collapse, the neck collapse like that. But rest on the side of your thumb and up here underneath your chin and collarbone. So you're going to need to practice that until you've got it. Make sure you don't collapse your wrist or stick it out too far like that. When you get this and it's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, then you can practice tapping this first finger on the strings. Just practice tapping it. And a good thing to do is look in your mirror while you're tapping, see what your thumb's doing. Make sure it doesn't do that while you're tapping, because it might. Okay, so don't want to take too much time here. You might need tapes on your violin for marks so you know where to put your fingers. So if you need to do that, then that's okay. I don't have them on mine, but I used them for about a year when I was learning, so you might want those to show you where to put your finger. And I have some information on that on the CD. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this finger ready down here. And this is first position, where we're going to spend most of our time as a beginner. We're going to stay in first position, and we're not going to be moving our hand up around the violin. We're going to just stay right here in this comfortable, safe place where we call first position. So the thumb is not at the very end of the neck, but it's just about right there. And when your first finger comes down, it should be on an F sharp. That's the note we're looking for. That's the only note we're going to use in this lesson as far as fingers go. So only your first finger is going to play, and it's going to want to land on that note. So the first note we're going to play, put your bow on the E string and play Huckleberry Pancake. And stop your bow, put your first finger down, and play Huckleberry Pancake again. Then lift your first finger and play Huckleberry Pancake. Then don't lift your bow, just tilt it to the A string and play Huckleberry Pancake. So that was the flower song, which is what we're learning. And that was the whole thing. So let's repeat it. Let's put the bow back on the E string, play open E. Put your first finger down. Lift it. Then put the bow on the A string. Then put the bow back on the E string. Let's do it again. First finger down. Lift it. Bow on the A string. One more time. Open E. First finger down. Lift the first finger. Play open A. Make sure you always tilt the bow from the A to the E and back again, and don't lift the bow when you need a string cross. Okay? So that's all for this lesson, but make sure you practice that and really work on keeping your space with your hand nice and relaxed and loose and not tight and clenching. And the same goes with this hand. Make sure everything stays loose and relaxed and you don't get your pinky going like that or your thumb collapsed too. You want it bent. So really work on that stuff and don't take any shortcuts on it because it's really important. It will determine how good of a player you are later on, the time you take on these basics, because they're so important. Alright, so I'll see you in lesson 4.